Shanti. Shanti. Good evening and welcome, Zoomers. Shanti. Welcome to Harmony House for our continuing Thursday evening conversations. So we're in February, and February is the month of love, I guess, a hallmark for others as well. But we are taking up on that theme all month, guided by love. But I dare say that if you've come here before, and how many of you have been here before? Okay, great. How many are new here today? Okay, well, you would know that everything, not just in February, everything that Harmony House and Brahma Kumaris do is guided by love. So it's a little redundant, but I think it's well-meaning and well-intended. So this month, we're going to talk about guided by love, but tonight it will be love, the pathway to forgiveness, to the pathway to forgive and live free. And I'm going to be very brief, but I was thinking today about two people in my life who not particularly close to, but they had suffered, I would say almost irreparable harm by two other people. And they were able to forgive in a very public way. And I'm not going to say who they are. You may have even heard of them, but they had impacted my life that they loved themselves so much and they had such a deep faith in God and God's love that they were able to forgive respectively the people that had done them physical and mental harm. So that's something that's guided me and I was thinking about today. So we're going to talk about forgiveness and with that, living free. And we have a very special host tonight, and that is Sister Carmen, who is my teacher. She was my teacher when I took knowledge here. So it's very special. She's also a healthcare provider, as I was at one time. She's a retired registered nurse and has been practicing, studying, and teaching Raja Yoga meditation for the past 24 years. And she coordinates activities for the Point of Life Foundation and offers programs to integrate spirituality and healthcare with the goal, particularly of sustaining healthcare professionals, which, as you know, is a very demanding profession, doctor, and enhancing the quality of the human experience in the healthcare system so they can provide for us. In addition, she has a passion for women's empowerment. I know this on a personal level, and has led to creating very creative and highly engaging experiential, that's the key word, and practical workshops and retreats for us. And tonight is, I'm sure, going to be along that line. So with that, I turn it over to Sister Carmen. Om Shanti. That gonna work?
Okay, it's better. All right. Good evening, everybody. Om Shanti. Warm welcome. So there's no new person in the house, right? Okay. So this evening, we're going to be talking about love and forgiveness. What does one have to do with the other? Well, I think we all probably know they're quite deeply intertwined. We kind of know that, right? Everybody knows that somewhat. So let's kind of see if we can see how they connect with each other. But before I start to talk, I am going to ask you to do something for me. Did everybody get a little slip of paper when you came in? Everybody has one? Yes, if you didn't have one, anybody didn't have one? Everybody has one. Okay. I'd like you to just take a moment and read your paper. Just take a moment by yourself and read your paper. It's just a sentence, most of them. And just take a minute to reflect on what does that mean for you. I don't know what you got. Everybody has a different one. So what does that mean for you? How do you interpret that? What do you make of that statement that you have? Once you're done, I'm going to invite you to turn around to someone, and you're going to take 2 minutes each, no more than that, and just share what was the first thought that came to you when you look at that statement. What does it mean for you? Just have a 2-minute conversation, 2 minutes, 4 minutes, 2 minutes each. Share what that means for you. If you came here with somebody, you might want to share with somebody else. Take 2 minutes each to just share what it is. Please don't go into any other conversation. Just stay with the paper, with the theme or the statement or the quote, whatever that is. Just make sure each one gets a chance to share. Okay, just take another minute and kind of bring it to a close. Okay. May I invite us all back together? And can I ask the people, those who are sitting over there, could all of us just get back together like in the center? And now I'm going to invite you to watch two little videos, a minute and a half each, just very short videos. So let's just take a moment to just watch those two little videos and just see what we get from all of this conversation so far. Okay, brother?
One day, a teacher gave her class an assignment. She gave each student a potato and asked them to write the name of someone they hate on it. She then asked them to carry this potato with them everywhere they went for a week. The first 2 days were fine, but soon the potatoes started rotting. The students couldn't bear the foul smell the potatoes now had. They really wanted the week to end. They were so frustrated that on the 5th day, they went to the teacher and complained. "Teacher, these potatoes smell really bad. We don't want to carry them with us anymore. Can we throw them away?" The teacher smiled and said, "Of course you can, but always remember this. Just like those rotting potatoes, whenever you carry hatred in your heart for too long, your own life will become unbearable."
Two friends were walking through the desert. At one stage in their journey, they had an argument and one friend slapped the other one in the face. The one who got slapped was hurt, but without saying anything, he wrote in the sand, "Today my best friend slapped me in the face." They kept on walking until they found an oasis, where they decided to have a wash. The one who had been slapped got stuck in a mire and started drowning, but his friend saved him. After he had recovered from his shock, he wrote on a stone, "Today my best friend saved my life." The friend who slapped and saved his best friend asked him, "After I hurt you, you wrote in the sand and now you write in stone. Why?" The other friend replied, "When someone hurts us, we should write it down in sand, where winds of forgiveness can erase it away. But when someone does something good for us, we must engrave it in stone, where no wind can ever erase it." And the moral of the story is, you should value those who you have in your life more than the things or your pride that you have in your life. Cherish your friendships and take care of them. This is Dare to Do Motivation. Thanks for watching and stay blessed.
Thank you. So we could finish the session now, right? And go home. Okay. So is there anyone here who so far something has really jumped out at you about love, forgiveness, that you would like to share? Just very briefly. Between your conversations, the little quotes you had, the movies you watched, is there anything that has really jumped out that's really significant that you want to share? Yes,
If you
she's
just
going to
wait
bring you the mic.
mics. Oops.
Hello, Sister Carmen. When I saw this note, I was so happy that I got this.
Ah,
Why? Because it just reminded me, I saw Mother Teresa's note like that, saying, forgive to heal yourself. And that picture struck me, almost 10, 15 years back, and I saved it and I made it my profile. And
forgive,
since then,
forgive to heal yourself. Is that what you
yes,
said?
yes. Since then, it reminds me. I just keep that as my profile because it reminds me, forgive, forgive, forgive. And I felt better. And
Thank you.
coming here, it's reinforced.
Thank you.
That's-
Thank you.
When I read this, if I don't forgive myself, I mean, if I don't forgive the other person, then I'm only hurting myself. Because the other person, he doesn't know, but I'm like, the not forgiving is eating me up. So it's better to forgive.
Okay. Who else wants to share?
I'd like to add something. I had an interesting one. Blame keeps wounds open. Only forgiveness heals. And in my past life, in another career, I was a wound care specialist, and I dealt with physical wounds in a big hospital. And I actually led the division. And the wound, when I read this, you want the physical, you want it to heal. But blame, it's like constantly, oftentimes the best way to deal with the wounds is to not leave it alone, but keep it clean and let the body inside out. But the blame is the outside in, constantly nudging that wound that it can't heal. And often if you let it go, you forget and you don't forget, but you forgive and it goes away. So I thought it was very telling, like, wow, blame keeps wounds open. That's what I used to do. Only forgiveness heals. So it's cool.
Okay. Anybody else?
Shanti, mine said, when a deep injury is done to us, we never heal until we forgive. Nelson Mandela. And I realized that the opposite of forgiveness to me feels like superiority or ego. If I don't forgive you, then I have not healed whatever was wrong. But the minute I forgive someone, I'm admitting that we're all human. And more importantly, I'm freer. I free myself of any pain and repeating the tape in my head, that video of whatever happened. If I forgive, I can put a full stop and then I benefit. It's not the person I'm forgiving because the outcome doesn't matter. But if I've done the right thing and taken the higher road and realized that they did the best they could in that moment, might not have been their finest moment. I've had moments that weren't my finest either, So it works. It works to heal me. And if they accept it, it works to heal them.
Mhm.
Sister. It's lovely. My statement that I received is from William Award. Forgiveness is a funny thing. It warms the heart and cools the sting. It's so true, right? So the sting that I feel due to somebody's injuring me or doing thought process is going on, right? So those bad thoughts or bad actions or bad deeds or bad words that is causing injury to me, causing sting. If I forgive, all that sting is gone, and heart remains very warm and lovely. The love, grows in the heart, so it becomes warm. So it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And the other, my colleagues also, his was beautiful. If you want to share, but we won't take too much time here. Thank you.
Okay. Somebody else wanted to share? Okay. That would be the last.
For
one.
me, love is with God, actually. Once you connect to God, you get nice love from God. That's the best thing you can get. Once you have that love with God, you can forgive everybody also.
Okay, thank you. All right, you wanted, okay. All right, so that will be the last one for now.
Okay, it occurs to me that I can never be injured. The true self cannot be injured. Only my body can be injured or offended. My ego can be injured or offended. What I'm attached to perhaps can be challenged and offended. There's really nothing to forgive because nobody really ever does anything to the true me. But when I'm in my ego, then I can engage in that way of thinking or that game, if you will, of offense and forgiveness. So that's all.
Thank you. Good. I'm glad you brought up this whole aspect of the ego. Because when we talk about forgiveness, we're assuming or we're saying that someone has hurt us, right? Someone has hurt us. Someone has hurt me, and therefore I need to forgive. And who is the me that is hurt? Is someone really hurt me? Can someone really hurt me? And so when we talk about the me, we want to be able to understand who is the me that we say is hurt. And there is a very famous author who said that love and the self are one. And when I discover one, I automatically discover both. When I feel hurt, it's because I'm assuming that somebody has done something to me that has hurt me, right? Somebody said something to me, somebody insulted me, somebody said something abusive, whatever it is, I get hurt. Love can really never get hurt. When we say somebody violated my trust, somebody deceived me, or somebody did something that violated my love, is it really love that we're talking about? Or is it really the true self that we're talking about when we say we got hurt? There is something that we call the ego. The self is authentic, and the self is the embodiment of authentic love, not the emotion of love, but the true, real love. The emotion of love is not real love. That's contaminated. That's not authentic. that's been distorted. And so emotion that we call love is really not pure love. And that then becomes very vulnerable because it's not real. There's no strength in it. Okay? We know the difference between emotion and real being, which is love. We understand the difference, right? Because when we say love as an emotion, it's not real and authentic. It goes up one day, I love one day, tomorrow I don't love. Tomorrow I hate, the next day I love. Tomorrow is Valentine's Day and you bring me chocolate and flowers and candies and I love. And you didn't remember to bring me that and I'm not happy with you. You violated my love. That's the emotion of love. It's not authentic. But love, which is real and authentic, is who I am at my core. And that's always there. And you really can't violate that. So when I get hurt because somebody said something to me and I get hurt, what has happened is I have separated myself from love. I have actually separated myself from myself. When I separate myself from myself because I don't remember who I am, I've separated myself from love. And when I do that, I become extremely vulnerable because every living being needs love. We all need love. We're going to look for it. We're going to try to find it in one way or another. We want to experience it. But if I have separated myself from me, not remembering who I am, I've separated myself from real love, I am going to then look somewhere else outside of me to feel the love, to find the love. And when there is love, there is that feeling. How does love express itself? It comes to us in that feeling of feeling valuable, feeling important, feeling worthy, feeling belonged, feeling safe, right? Those are the things that come naturally with love. But if I'm not connecting with myself as a being of love, I'm going to be looking outside of me for that love. So I'm looking outside of me for whatever love brings. I'm looking for safety from the outside. I'm looking to feel accepted from the outside. I'm looking to feel worthy from the outside. Okay? But it doesn't happen that way. What's coming from the outside is not a part of me. And so when I feel that I am receiving love from the outside, that love is extremely vulnerable. That's vulnerable. It's not going to last. So it doesn't take much for anyone to do something that violates my sense of safety, that violates my feeling of being loved, that violates my feeling of being worthy. It won't take much for me to feel violated and hurt. So, I'm not sure where that sound is coming from. So, what makes it difficult for us to forgive is because you have hurt me. You have made me feel unworthy. You have made me feel not safe. So how can I forgive you? Right? So I'm going to hold you accountable for a very long time for the pain, for the hurt, for the suffering that I am going through. But who makes me suffer? Who is making me suffer? You can do something to trigger the suffering, but the suffering comes only because of the way I'm responding to what you are doing out there. I take it very personal. So whenever I get hurt, I will resort to emotional reactions. I will first resort to maybe fear. I will resort to anger. I will resort to, what else we resort to? I think it's my bag. Put it outside. Yeah, so somebody's done something to me. I feel hurt. And so I resort to these emotional responses. And they just keep hurting me more and more and more and more. I go from being afraid, I go from being angry, I go from being feeling insecure, whatever these emotions are that I feel as a result of what you have done that I take on board because you have violated something that I was trusting you to support. Now, you are not responsible for my safety. No one is. You're not responsible for my happiness. You're not responsible for me, my feeling respected and feeling good about myself. I am responsible for that myself, not you. So when I feel hurt because of something somebody has done, who first needs to be forgiven? Who needs to be forgiven? Who needs to be forgiven? Who is the perpetrator? Somebody, the person who made you upset. You need to forgive them. They need to be forgiven. Okay, yeah, you need to forgive yourself. Everybody needs to be forgiven. Of course, we need to forgive them too, right? We need to forgive them too, but we first need to forgive ourselves. Because I am the one that made myself vulnerable. I am the one who is choosing to respond or react, not even respond, but react to what somebody else is doing. We don't do this necessarily consciously. We don't do it consciously. We're doing it's an unconscious process because we don't realize what we have, how we've set ourselves up to get hurt. Okay, so we are not blaming ourselves at all. We don't blame because blame is taking us down another dark alley. But we need to be aware of the process that's going on, the dynamics that's going on, to understand why do I get hurt in the first place? Why do I feel hurt? The hurt comes because, and I'm blaming somebody else because I was relying and depending on that person for my feeling of safety, for my feeling of love, for my feeling of being worthy, for my feeling of belonging. So we have a right to want to feel that, but I don't have a right to want it from you. I'm responsible for myself. Okay. So the first person that needs to be forgiven is myself. To liberate somebody from the jail of unforgiving feelings and hateful thoughts or whatever, the first person that gets liberated is me. When I open that jail door to let the prisoner walk out, I am the first prisoner that walks out. When I forgive, I have to first forgive myself. When I forgive myself, I will have the capacity to forgive another. And that's the way it works, not the other way around. Not when I forgive somebody else, then I can forgive myself. When I can forgive myself, it means I have allowed myself to open my heart to be big enough, to be compassionate enough, to be merciful enough, to accept for myself what I am responsible to make myself feel worthy. Then when the heart is big and open and full and feel full of love, which it has, then I am able to forgive the other. If we try to do it the other way around, we really never forgive. I try to forgive somebody, it's just words. I'll say, I forgive you. But every time I see you, I remember what you did and I hurt again. Because I am still needy. Okay. Or hurt and or suffering comes out of our neediness. I am needy for the things I'm not able to emerge and accept within my own self. Okay. So as long as I am needy, I can't forgive another person because I want you to be responsible for what you did to me. I can't forgive you. When I forgive myself, it means an awareness has happened within me. I have discovered something within myself. I recognize that I have the capacity to emerge what I need to make myself feel safe and feel complete and feel okay. So I don't need anyone to be responsible for what I'm lacking or for what I'm needing. When I realize that for myself, and I can do that for myself, then my heart will open up, the love will emerge, and then I can have love for you and allow you to be, I can forgive you. Does that make any sense? First of all, you have to accept the fact. First of all, you have to be able to look at yourself and recognize that what is true of yourself, what is really true of you, what's your truth, what's your authentic truth. And realize that you have stepped away from that because maybe you didn't know. We didn't know. You know, our stories went way back. And so just look at ourselves as children, for example, when we're children. A lot of us get hurt when we were children, right? Maybe because we didn't know differently. And children are very needy. Children are looking to you for care and protection. And you may have done something that hurt you as a child. Someone may have done something that hurt you as a child. You didn't know different, but they say, no, ignorance is no excuse of the law. So even though you didn't know different, you're still going to take on the pain, right? So we have these pains and we have these wounds inside of us sometimes. That goes on for a long time, maybe from one birth to the next birth. Maybe it's not only in this lifetime. But we have these open wounds inside ourselves without even knowing. So when I can step back and look at myself and remind myself of the truth of who I am, then I can look at myself and say, no, what is it that I am afraid at this point of losing? What is it that I am needy of? What am I lacking? What am I needing? Taking responsibility for that, reaffirm within myself that I am a being that is full and complete. And whatever I'm needing and lacking, I have. Whatever I think I need, I really have. What it is, I don't know how to connect with it. Right? And it's because I don't know how to connect with myself. When I forget, I am not just this body. When I forget the truth of who I am, and realize for all of us who've been coming here all the time, and some of you may be practicing meditation, realize that I am a soul that is complete, that is lacking nothing, that is needing nothing, then for me to be depending on you over there to make me feel worthy and respected, it's really not the way to go. It's because I have disconnected from it. So I have to become aware of what it is that I have become disconnected from in myself. And now make a plan to do something to reconnect with that. And that plan may be, I'm going to start to probably take some meditation course, take some classes, maybe learn how to meditate, maybe learn how to reconnect with myself and recognize that there is nothing that's lacking in me. All right. So I am now accepting where I have been, not to blame myself. It's the journey of life. Well, humans' journey is to remember and then to forget. So it's not you alone who've forgotten. We've all forgotten, right? That's why we all now need to forgive. Because in our forgetting, in our life's journey, we forget, we make ourselves vulnerable and we make ourselves hurt. And every one of us in this room have been hurt at some point, even if we don't remember when and how. Okay, so our journey back to ourselves is a journey of forgiving ourselves. The whole journey of return to the self is a journey of forgiving ourselves. Whatever it is that I have allowed to have happened to me along the way to have made me experience hurt. I just accept it. It's just a journey. Now I have to begin to see myself in the mirror and begin to ask myself, what is it I'm still afraid of losing? What is it I'm afraid of this person taking from me or this situation taking from me? Nothing. Because what I am, I am. It's not just what I have, but what I am. You can't take from me what I am. You can't take from me love because I am love. You can't make me feel insecure because I am secure within myself. I am. So the fact that I have allowed myself to be vulnerable, I have to take responsibility for that. Again, not blame, no shame. Just accept it. That's the way it was. That's the journey I've been through. But now that journey is over. And now I am waking up to the reality of the truth of myself, that I am safe, I am full, I am complete, I am love. And so when I am love and accept that love within myself, then I can forgive myself. I can forgive myself for anything and everything. Because not forgiving myself is keeping me trapped. When I don't forgive myself, I am constantly in fear. I'm constantly angry. I'm constantly sad. I'm constantly feeling vulnerable all the time. So I have to forgive myself. Then I can forgive others. And sometimes I hear people say, when I forgive, it's not about them, but it's about me. I'm not forgiving because because they're deserving of forgiveness, but I am deserving of forgiveness. No, we're all deserving of forgiveness. I have to forgive myself, but I also have to forgive them. Because when I realize I have made mistakes in my life, then I will begin to understand they too have made mistakes in their lives. Right? What they've done to me that have caused me to feel hurt, they've done it because they too have lost connection with the truth of themselves and the truth of love. So my compassion is an act of my love and my forgiveness. My mercy is an act of my love and my forgiveness. Okay. When I open my heart to be able to do that for myself, I can do that for others, but I can't do it for them before I can do it for myself. But I also have to forgive them, because if I tell myself I forgive myself and it's just for me, it's not because of them, if I don't see them as worthy of being forgiven, then I am not holding them with love in my heart. So there's something is still missing there. Do you see what I'm saying? We still have to see them as worthy of being forgiven, with good wishes for them, with pure feelings for them, with thoughts and feelings of blessings for them, because they too are worthy. Okay. There's a beautiful saying that to forgive is the fragrance that the violet, is it? To forgive is the fragrance that the violet spreads on the heel that has crushed it. So there is someone who stepped on the violet and crushed it. So rather than being angry with that person, you forgive. So it's that the fragrance from the violet, it gives its fragrance to the heel that has crushed it, and that's an act of forgiveness. So when somebody's done something to me or have done something and I take it on and I get hurt, what do I give in return? So forgive is to give something that is benevolent, that is of benefit to the person who has done it to me. Because that person who has done something to me doesn't really in the moment know better. They are stuck somewhere as well. And so they need my good wishes. They need my love. They need my care. And so it's an opportunity for me to give that to them when I feel that somebody is doing something that could hurt me or hurt another. Because it is because they are hurt as well why they are hurting. If we remember in the meditation, when someone is hurt, then they hurt others. And so if I see someone hurt, because when I am not needy, then I can turn around and do something to uplift that soul. If I am needy, then I can't do it. And that's why Mahatma Gandhi says that it takes someone who's brave or someone who's strong to forgive. If you're not, you'll still always be looking for that person to say, I'm sorry. And you'll never feel good about it until you get that from that person. Right? So, is there any other question, any other thought? Yes.
Okay, so I'm imagining a scenario of like a toddler having a temper tantrum.
A toddler.
Yes,
Okay.
okay, very innocent child. Having a temper tantrum. Isn't it in human nature to feel that feeling of, I guess, maybe anger? I don't know what the feeling would be or what the scenario would be. Or, you know, even someone that young, isn't it like a learned behavior that we have to unlearn as an adult because we are more conscientious of what we need to do?
Yes, sure. It's a learned behavior. Yeah, it's a learned behavior. We learn to emotions are learned. All emotions are learned, right? Your pure feelings are not learned. They're natural. Love, joy, peace, bliss, feeling strong and secure. Those are natural feelings that you come with. But when we get disconnected from that, we then learn emotions which are anchored in the ego that we developed to make us feel safe. Okay? So the emotions are learned. And so what the toddler is doing is acting out of a learned emotion. Even though it's a toddler, it's a learned behavior. Okay? Yes, so it is a learned behavior, but a toddler is a toddler, so you can pick up the toddler and put him on your shoulder and pamper him and make him feel good. He's allowed, but you help him to hopefully not nurture that kind of behavior with time. But as an adult, we are learning now to unlearn those reactions because they don't get us very far. They don't serve us. They just make the wound stay open and get bigger and bigger and bigger. Right? So as a toddler is allowed to do that to an extent. And hopefully as parents who are going to be caring parents, you help your toddler how to behave. And with time, hopefully they'll be able to grow out of it. But it is a learned behavior. It's not natural. No emotion is natural. Emotions are learned. And they grow out of the ego that we created when we disconnected from what's natural. Okay. Anything else? Yes.
Beginning of the session, you mentioned someone who had done some physical harm, some emotional harm.
I'm not hearing you. I'm so sorry. Hold it up a little bit.
Beginning of the session, you mentioned that you know of someone who had done some physical, emotional harm, and you were able to forgive that person.
She's
Oh,
okay.
I'm sorry, you said that. How do you forgive someone when you see them doing things intentionally to someone, steering someone in the wrong direction, or doing some harm to a child? How do you forgive that person?
It is not easy. If we think about it in our usual old way of seeing another person doing something, one of the things we have to recognize is that there is a difference between the person and their action. And so to be able to forgive, sometimes you have to be able to separate the being from the action. Okay? The being, which is the soul that is in that body, that's playing their part, a part, is coming from a place of disconnectedness, is coming from a place of their own ignorance and their own learned behaviors that are destructive. When I understand that and I can separate the being that is no different from me, that is a pure being, that is a loving being originally, but has gotten disconnected, then I have to go to a place of compassion within myself. And you're not saying what they did was okay. You're not making it okay. But I can come from a place of compassion and caring with good wish for that soul. Okay. And so forgiving does not necessarily mean I'm saying what you do is right or what you do should not be addressed. It may need to be addressed, but I'm able to have good wishes for that soul, that hopefully one day that soul will be able to realize what they've done and will be able to move from that place where they're stuck. And it's not necessarily an easy thing to do, but it's something we have to do. And that's when we're able to have good wish for someone, really good wish for someone, and pure feelings for that person. That they will not stay stuck in that story of their lives where they're cruel and hateful and hurt others. But really want them, think about if that person was your child and they're stuck into something, what would you do to help them? And maybe all you can do is just have good wishes for them. The power of your pure thoughts and feelings for that soul. So you don't get trapped in it, because otherwise you'll get trapped in it too. Because if you're carrying hurtful feelings for somebody else, you're going to carry the burden of that. And you don't want to. Okay, I think we have 1 minute to finish with a little meditation. Okay, so thank you. Let's just finish with 2 minutes of reflection. So I'm just going to invite you to just allow yourself to become still, silent, to connect with the pure being that you are, the being that is full of love, the being that is complete, the being that needs nothing, the being that then therefore go into the heart, a place that is full of love, and only have that love to share. So as you make your body comfortable, take a few deep breaths and allow the self to relax. And turn your attention away from all that's on the outside, the stories, the roles, the relationships, the experiences, the responsibilities. And more than all, stories of the past. Turn your attention inwards to the self. Focus on a point, center of the forehead, behind the eyes, deep inside. And allow yourself to just feel a sense of stillness, of silence, of peace. Visualize yourself as a beautiful, radiant being of light. Full of the purest energy of love. Know that this is who you are. I am this living being of love. And as a being of love, All that love can do is love. All that love can do is to be benevolent, is to be compassionate, is to be merciful, is to be tolerant, is to be forgiving. Love makes no demands of anyone, but sees the very best in everyone. Only create pure feelings and good wishes towards everyone. First, for the self. I, the soul, this being of love, I am complete. I need nothing from anyone. I am safe. I am worthy with a deep sense of belonging. And so with that, I am able to look at my own self and acknowledge that in the past I may have made mistakes. I may have allowed myself to be vulnerable and to hurt. But now I know the truth of who I am. And so I forgive myself for any hurt I may have caused to myself. And from this place, I am able to open my heart and allow love to emerge. And then to be able to give to everyone else and to forgive everyone else who may have caused me hurt. And I breathe and I feel a heart filling with so much love. Feel that there's a source of love that is pouring into me. The source of love, the ocean of love. God, my father, my mother, my friend. I need nothing from anyone else. This one makes me safe. This one makes me feel secure. This one makes me feel comfortable and at ease. And as I feel this love, I know that I am always safe. There's no need to walk around with a feeling of hurt, a feeling of being in bondage, a feeling of being chained to anyone or any situation. I am free. I am free. I forgive. I forgive myself and I forgive others. Shanti.
Thank you, Sister Carmen, so much. Thank you for the instruction to see the best in ourselves. And thus, when we do that, it enables us to see the best or the better in others. That was lovely. Thank you so much. Please come by and get your toli, your sweet, and your blessing. And next week, we will be back, a panel discussion. So hopefully we will see you again, and good night, Zoomers, and good night all, and Om Shanti.